Me, especially when you be putting things
You
out there.
live, all the way live.
Hey,
Yes.
you know how they go. It was a song when I was a kid. I used to go to high school. It's like up in the morning, 6 o'clock. Thank God it's Friday. Living it up, living it up. Oh yeah, it's Friday night. Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I got the lovely Shateka Hauser, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about different things like we don't know about passive income. And basically, right now, what people don't understand is this: like every time I have a conversation with Shateka, she enlightened me in so many different ways. And even right now, is for those you don't know, I got a bundle of joy in my life, my granddaughter. And you know what? It's like sometimes as a parent, you make mistakes. So even with the mistake that you made as a parent, guess what? You're not going to make that same mistake as a grandparent. So the difference is right now is based upon some of the information that this young lady is sharing with me, it's going to help me establish my granddaughter for the future. And that's what it's all about. It's never too late. It's like, how do you get back now?
Yes. I love that you started talking about that because I actually have a client that was actually where I've been working with, and they are looking at their granddaughter actually was born last September. And they wanted to start something. And I told them about the $1 million baby. And that's just something that's not really happening in a lot of African American communities, unfortunately. But in the wealthy community, within 15 days of the child being born, which is the earliest you can put a policy on a child, they're actually starting these policies at 15 days old. Now, in this particular instance, this particular grandparent wanted to do 250 a month, and the 250 a month is going to come out to, of course, $3,000. Just do easy math. When I looked at where the child is going to be and when they're going to be a millionaire, just by them doing that until they're 58 years old is when they're going to be a millionaire.
Okay.
And guess how much money they will have put into the policy? You wouldn't
What?
you wouldn't be able to guess.
I can.
Nowhere. No, listen. This is wealth on sale. Somebody say wealth on sale.
Wealth on sale.
$174,000 over the life of these 58 years. And this child will be a millionaire as an adult at the age of 58. Where did they do
Okay.
that at?
They don't.
I don't know about you, but in my household, we didn't have these kind of policies. The old type of policies, but more people know about that. The one where there's only a death benefit, the old traditional one. Everybody thinks that a policy is only a death benefit. Today, these sophisticated policies that we have out are incredible. I'm talking about passive income, passive cash flow, medical benefits. Brian, listen, we have to tell the people about this because people think it's only a death benefit. We got to change the mindset because there has to be a mind shift. It has to be. How you doing? Yours truly and David Anderson. Listen, people think it's only death benefit, but let me tell you about all the different benefits that you can get with these policies. Not only will that young lady be a millionaire at the age of 58, but she's going to absolutely have all the chronic, critical, and terminal illnesses covered for her entire life. Let's say she has a heart attack, she has a stroke, she has dementia, cancer. Things happen. Whatever
Mhm.
happens to this little girl throughout her entire, she is covered. Her death benefit will actually cover that. So she don't have to wait till she died where her beneficiaries will get all the money. She can actually use this money towards her medical benefits now. Or let's say she has a healthy life and nothing happens to her, right? And she just wants to go to college. She'll have all this money set up in her policy that she could actually access. And guess what, policy? I mean, guess what, Brian? Something just happened just now. Sorry about that. Whenever that happens and she takes the money out for her college expense, people talk about these 529 plan, but let me tell you why this is better than a 529 plan. Because when she takes the money out for her actual college, the money
Mhm.
is still going to be compounding in her account.
Okay.
Where do they do that at? When you take the money out and the money still compounds and grow, makes money for you while you're sleeping. That's passive income.
Mhm.
That's the type of stuff wealthy people do that. Listen, the poor don't know nothing about.
And see, and that's the good part about it because once again, a lot for a long period of time we've been blind. A lot of times we've been shut out. So now we're not being shut out anymore. It's like when you got what's the sense of having information, knowledge, if you don't got people to share it with. So once again, like I was saying right now, I remember me and you having that conversation about certain things. what 8 months ago to a year ago, going on a year ago. But the difference it's like how you just took the time and broke it down to me as if I was a 2-year-old, so I can have a complete understanding. How can I get ahead in that world we call life? And that's
Listen,
the difference.
that's just one. Listen, I haven't even began to finish telling you about all these great things that, for this particular type of account, this young lady's, her grandfather in this instance is actually setting up for her. She's actually going to be able to, of course, have this money as the bank, as we talked about a few episodes ago. We talk about the bank, how she's going to be the bank, right? So at the end of the day, she won't have to worry about using any credit cards. You know what I mean? Having to take out a loan for her car. Let's say her car breaks down while she's in college and she has this policy. She has money she can go in, you know what I mean? Pay for her tires, whatever repair she needs. She don't have to worry about it. When she takes the money out, the money is still compounding. Why? Because she started at what? How old is she? She's not even a year old. She's not even a year old. So that money is continuing to compound and grow for her. Listen, $250 a month. People eat that sometimes. They hang out and eat that at a restaurant. Okay, one blouse costs $250,000. You know what I'm saying? Some of them red bottoms cost way more than $250. You know what I'm saying? So this young lady is going to be able to be set for life because her grandfather is looking out for her at the age of September. How long? She's not even nowhere near a year old. So at the end of the day, we just want to make sure that people understand that there is something called the $1 million baby concept that's been around for a while. The wealthy have been doing this for years. The African-American community, I'm just going to speak about our community. Not all of us know about this. Many of us did not know about this. Okay. And many of us has made a lot of money, but still did not know about the $1 million baby concept. And that is to start a policy on a child. You don't have to do $250. You can do $5 a day. $5 a day, $150 a month. Listen, everybody can probably do that, right? Like 150. What is that? 150 times 12 months. That's nothing. And so some people get that back in their tax returns, that they overpay the government. And that's another whole conversation, because why are you overpaying the government when you could be putting that in the policy and creating your own bank? Why would you do that? You can go and change your W-4, make sure that you get all your exemptions or whatever up front, put your money in your policy instead of paying it, getting a refund later on, and let that money compound for you and make money for you while you're sleeping. Because while you created an employment opportunity for your money, so you don't have to work so hard, it could be on your child, your grandchild, it could be on you. But at the end of the day, don't give it to Uncle Sam all year long. Put it in your policy. Why did we talk about that, Brian? Because we said last week, we talked about inflation. We said that your money needs to be outpacing inflation. And we know that a bank account will never outpace inflation. A bank account is not going to do 7%. Okay. But if you have it in certain types of policies, it's going to outpace inflation, and you're going to have your money protected from what? Lawsuits, creditors, divorce, all of that. Your money's protected. They can't take that because the courts don't even see that money, right? So that's what the wealthy do. And guess what? When that money grows, Brian, unlike any other type financial asset out there, there's no capital gains if you do it the right way. There's no capital gains taxes you're going to pay on the growth of that money, like you are going to pay on a real estate, on stocks, on crypto, on everything else. You have to pay these capital gains, but you do not pay that in a policy. It is tax free according to IRS code 7702. This is no secret. It's been out here. We just haven't been really understanding it and learning it. That's right. $20 a week. That's right. Yours truly. It doesn't have to be anything lavish, however you want to dice it or slice it, but just do something, because if you have that money sitting in your bank account, you're getting poorer and poorer every day because inflation is 7% and growing.
Hey, but
let's just say, yeah, go ahead.
But look what you just got finished saying is a lot. It's like right now, even you talking about, the difference is, and that's the difference with that type of situation. You got to put into what you can afford to put into it.
That's right.
So the difference is you can't try to call yourself keeping up with the Jones, because once again, if this person can afford $20 and this person only can afford $5, or this person can afford $100, what you have to do is you have to do what is reasonable for you. That's going to make sure you're able to still maintain, because once again, it's not, right now, what the sense of doing something, then you start it off, then you lose it all because you can't be, you got to be consistent. That's the biggest thing about all this. You got to be consistent. So to me, that's why I said when I listen to you and you breaking it down to me, I love it, because once again, that's what this is all about. How do we take this platform and share? Anybody that's out there that's willing to listen, they can learn. And the difference right now is, guess what? That's what this is all about. How do we help those that want to be helped? How do we save those that want to be saved? How do we educate those that want to be educated?
That's right, David Anson said, you're right. We got to put it out there. We got to let people know about it, and we got to stop limiting ourselves, because at the end of the day, we are responsible for our future. And if you're looking for financial security, like Brian has already mentioned, we have to be consistent. I mean, I think for many people, Brian, this will actually stretch them and grow them in their finances, because now they have to have a discipline to put this money away, right? But like Brian, like I always say, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? That's one of my favorite sayings. So if you have a negative bank account balance all the time, you may not necessarily want to be in a tax-free retirement account, because it's not going to be the best type of account for you, because you do not want to have a negative balance inside that account, because you will forfeit your account.
Yeah.
So it is about making people become more disciplined in their finances. Now you got to see, what is it that I actually have? Now you have to go and use these different apps. If you follow me on Instagram, I have one of my posts talks about the 5 apps that you can use to be able to assist you, right? So if you're 2022, this is your year financially, there's 5 different types of apps that you can put on your phone to help you manage your money. But you have to be disciplined. And what is it? Garbage in, garbage out. If you don't update the app and let the app know what's going on, the app is going to be inaccurate. You're not going to know where your money is at. But really, all you have to do is take some time, like you guys do, surfing the internet. We all do, social media, whatever. Take some time, set it up properly one time, and it's going to feed from your bank account into the app all day long. It's going to let you know what's going in, what's coming out, what's happening. I mean, a lot of people have Credit Karma for their credit. Credit Karma is letting them know what's going on. Same thing with this app. It's going to let you know what's going on with your bank account, but you just have to set it up properly.
You know what? And that's an interesting point. I remember me and you having a conversation about 2 weeks ago. Was it that? But how you discovered like something was taken out of your account. And, even that happened. That just happened to me. It was something was taken out on the 20th of January. And right now on the 2nd of February. And I'm looking at it. That's $600. No, wait a minute here. Because a lot of times right now is if you don't pay attention, people will go into your pocket and take things that you're not even receiving service for. You don't even use that service anymore. So that's $600 less than a month.
There's I'm not going to call them out because I don't want to do that. But this particular organization is on Instagram. They're doing all these ads and stuff. And I don't know how they got access to my information, but they took $997 out of my account. I didn't notice it because, I wasn't on my A game, Brian. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't on my A game. So it's been about 3 months and I didn't even notice it. But I said, let me go in here and look at my account and start looking line by line, because what is going on here? So I went line by line and I started seeing all types of that was just the largest. Okay. So I quickly went down to the bank and let them know that was fraud. But I don't even know how they got my information. $997. They did it in November. And I didn't find it out till like 3 weeks ago. Are you kidding me? November 25th. Okay. I'm like, no, we're not doing this. We can't. Yeah. So it's under investigation, but people I don't know how they do it, but they're getting access to people's accounts and they're just taking these funds out. And even when you tell these different subscriptions, I don't know about you, but I do a lot of different little subscriptions. You might have, for example, different Apple products or different apps on your phone. Well, they'll do renewal at the annual fee, right? So you have to keep looking at all those different things. It's so many of them out there, but you have to look at your account each week. So I'm doing a better job even in making sure that I scrub my account. I'm out here talking about it, but I'm gonna be about it. So at the end of the day, because that's $1,000, I wouldn't even have known if had I not went back and did the reconciliation to make sure that everything is proper, right? So I'm telling you from my own pain, I'm being very vulnerable and transparent that, we have to all make sure that we look at, I think it's Grant Cardone, so he looks at his account every day and he's a billionaire. So, we need to be looking at our account at least weekly, right? In my opinion. So just something to put out there, because all these different subscriptions that are out there, want to make sure that, you authorize those as well, or cancel them if you don't want them to renew for an annual subscription, because those things start to eat away. When they start to, accumulate, it's a lot when you look at it over a month time frame. So, yeah, so definitely passive income is what we're talking about. And we just started the conversation. We've only been on like not even 14 minutes. We wasn't able to get on Wednesday night. So we wanted to make sure that we came on tonight, and definitely Say again.
That was your fault.
Oh, stop it. You listen,
No,
he don't throw me. Listen, not only did he throw me under the bus, but he backed up and rolled back over me. Okay. Now listen, but seriously, we want to make sure that I'm traveling. I am in Virginia today. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we are being consistent and on here every week. So in the future, we say we're going to try to see how we can probably do some pre-recordings and just have them kind of sitting there when we can't. But either way, we want to make sure that we get some information out. So what I wanted to do was invite you all to be a part of our, private conversation, private community for one Saturday coming up soon. We're going to put the information in the inside of the next week's video for a Saturday coming up, so that we can be able to have an actual Zoom presentation and be able to show you a more comprehensive look at what we're talking about, right? Because we just kind of give you bits and pieces on here, but want to get you inside of a community to be able to share. And this is a free masterclass that I have already put together. I just want to make sure that I take good care of Brian's, Brian's audience, to be more specific. So we're going to do it on a Saturday morning. It's going to be very comprehensive. A lot of things that I talk about, bringing it all together. It's already in presentation form. So if you're interested in something like that, definitely, comment in our DMs or whatever. Let us know that you're interested. Definitely add you to the wait list, or you can go to Shateka.com. Actually, when you text that BTFRA that you see scrolling across the screen, instead of that, just text masterclass. And then we'll make sure we add you to our list. So when the masterclass, our waiting list. So when we do that masterclass, we can inform you that the masterclass is going live. So again, just text the word masterclass to 678-736-6496. We want to make sure that you're a part of that community. So when we roll this out in the next couple of weeks, because I'm traveling, I want to make sure the schedule is right, and we make sure we get it out to you. We'll let you know that at least a couple of weeks in advance to clear one Saturday morning off, so that we can get you in that information, to see that information. If not, there will be a replay even if you do register, but you have to text the word masterclass to 678-736-6496 to be added to the wait list. All right, so Brian, one of the things that a lot of people don't know about when we start talking about passive income, more importantly, and let me finish talking about all the different benefits of the young lady that this baby's going to have before I move into this next topic for tonight. She really is going to not only have protection of her income, right? So protection of her money from, like I said, lawsuits, but she's going to have protection from any market loss. A lot of people today, Brian, are really concerned because of the market volatility, up and down, up and down. And so, when you have your money inside one of these types of accounts, it really doesn't matter, because it's an index type of account. And that means it's not going to go down. It's not going to go below, whenever the market crashes or it loses money, when everybody else is crying, these individuals are happy, because they're not happy that other people are crying, but happy that, I did not lose a dime. Even though the market went into the negative, S&P 500, whatever it is, they don't lose a dime of their money, because it's in an index product that we talk about, right? So that product is going to help them to make money and participate in the market when the market goes up. I'm talking about a type of policy, a certain type of policy, right? And that's when this young lady, what her grandfather put on her, she don't have to worry about losing money ever in her account, ever. Okay, the only thing it can do is grow. Unless she stops funding it, that's the only thing that's going to help, that's going to cause it to be stagnant, or the market crashes. So we looked at, the S&P 500 and how it performed over the last 40 years. It was only like 8 years of a bad time. Those people still went to sleep that had this type of account, because rest assured, they didn't lose a dime. That was the two things, of course, in terms of protection of her money, protection from market volatility and all of that. But she's also going to have, like I said, those medical benefits, and she's going to be able to have that death benefit, of course, that she can be able to access, for her medical challenges. If she have it, she's going to be able to use her money as a bank. All right. So if she needs anything, she don't have to go into debt. Right. So that's setting her up for success instead of for failure. Right. Instead of passing on debt to her, they're going to set her up for success. All right. So these are some of the things that this policy is going to do for this young lady. And she's really happy. She's going to be a happy young lady. She's going to be like, my grandfather took care of me. Right. And so it really is important. Now, if a parent wants to do the same thing for their child, it's important that the parent has some type of coverage themselves. All right. Because the insurance companies do look at that. They want to make sure that the insurable interest is there, right? So that you have at least on you what you're putting on your child. Now, so of course, the grandfather does have that on him, so he's good to go there. But I want to make sure we have that. So this young lady is going to have all of these different benefits, and she doesn't have to worry about anything when it comes to finances. As long as she can continue to maintain. Let's say she finishes college and everything, or whatever she decides to do in life, she still can maintain it. Even if something was to happen to her grandfather, he can no longer pay, $250 a month. She can maintain that, right? Or whenever she falls short, the way that this policy is structured, the actual cash value will also pay for the premium if for some reason she falls short and she doesn't have the 250 on any given month, right? So the policy doesn't have to, because he stops paying, it goes away. No, the policy actually will still be sustained by the cash value that's built up in the policy, still being able to pay those premiums. So there's something that's wonderful. Now, some people say, well, you know what, I may or may not be able to get a policy to be able to do these types of things for myself. What do? I want to talk about that. There's something out here that's called the annuity. A lot of people aren't familiar with that as well. Annuities are simply something that you can put your money. It's basically like you can use it as an IRA. You can use it as an individual retirement account as well. But you can actually put your money in those and let it grow for you exponentially. People are moving sometimes their accounts into annuities because they don't want their money to be what? They don't want their money to be lost in the market because of the market volatility. So what they're doing is they're transferring. They're doing what's called a rollover. And whenever they roll their money over, they're going to get anywhere from a 7 to 10% bonus on the money that they roll over, right? So we have a client, $400,000. She's getting $28,000 automatically just for rolling it over. When I say roll it over, I'm talking about from a 401k, 403b, 457, TSP, IR, all these different things that's out here. When you put it inside of an annuity, you get a bonus on it in certain types of accounts. And then on top of that, the money is continuing to grow. These individuals are creating a lifetime income. Okay. And that's what's super, super important for people that, know that they may or may not be able to receive Social Security in the future because of the projection of it not being around in the future. Nobody knows when it's going away, but highly likely that it will no longer be able to fit the bill because of so many reasons that we often talk about, which is nobody's really paying into it anymore because more people are becoming entrepreneurs, less people are paying into it, people are living a whole lot longer, meaning there's more population to have to pay out. The baby boomers, it's like so many thousands, per year. Every year, that is growing. I mean, it's a lot of people that having to receive these funds, and nobody's really paying into it because they're not working in the system to pay those, right? And they're getting these businesses. And when you become a business owner, you don't pay that many taxes if you have it done properly. People are, not necessarily paying as much taxes because the tax code is written for the business owner, is not written for the W-2 employee and the self-employed. So if you're someone that have a business and you're working hard in your business, you're called self-employed. If you're a business owner and you don't work hard in your business and everybody else doing your business, you're a business owner. All right. And that's the difference between self-employed and business owner. One works in the business, the other one just they delegate for success basically, and everybody else is working. They just collect the cash. That's the difference. So self-employed, still trading time for money. W-2, still trading time for money. The tax codes is not written favorably for you. They're written favorably for the business owner. And that is why Robert Kiyosaki says that 95% of people are on the wrong side of money because they are trading time for money and they're paying into these taxes because the tax codes, it used to be 475. It's going up to like over 600 because of the pandemic. There's so many more opportunities for people to be able to now be able to have favorable tax situations because of the pandemic. So that tax code is continuing to grow and be more favorable for business owners. It's just been attractive. That's why so many people are definitely having a business, even though they're still a W-2 employee. Nothing wrong with that. That's what you're trying to do because you want maybe the medical benefits and things of that nature for a season. But at some point, just looking at, the amount of taxes that you're paying for, could you be better off doing the same thing for yourself and owning your own business and and getting something like this account that this young lady has, where your medical benefits are covered from a chronic, critical, and terminal illness and long-term care perspective. At least those will be covered. So you can get something like this and structure your own pension plan with all of these medical benefits included inside of it. So super, super exciting times for the financial services industry in terms of just that particular product itself. So Brian, what questions are out there? What are people saying? So I know I just kind of talk.
Nothing really. Nobody coming out with anything. But you know what? Even what you were saying in regards to, so like for example, even if you're starting out at 250, can you change that? Can you always go up?
That's a great question. So individuals are absolutely max funding these accounts. So they are moving up to what's called a modified endowment contract limit. So the government says that as long as you don't go above the modified endowment contract limit, you don't have to worry about paying taxes. So there is a limit, and it's usually much higher than what the actual employer plan limits are. $6,000 a year, $7,000 a year if you're over 50. These $250, let's say you're doing that, and that's $3,000 a year. For something like that, it might be more like $6,000 a year. So they can put an additional, say, $3,000 a year in there. But yeah, they're still, as long as they don't over the life of the policy exceed a certain amount of money, which is called the MEC, they're good to go. It won't become a taxable event, because otherwise it can be called an investment, and that's going to trigger a red flag to the actual IRS, and that's what you don't want to do, because once this account is taxable, it's going to always be taxable. So, but that most carriers won't even let that happen, because they won't even accept the money. They'll reject it, or they'll refund you the money so it does not MEC out. So, but it's up to you to really understand, what your MEC limit is. I always tell clients to make sure that you understand what the MEC limit is. Yeah, super important.
T-Stamp, he asks, thanks, Glaze, for feeding our brains with substance. I do have a question. What do you suggest for a person with a stable job and great credit, decent saving to do at this time regarding investment?
Okay, so I would tell you to educate yourself, number one, right? And only if you want to invest in anything, just really find someone that's already doing it and already, like, how should I say it? They have a track record. So if you want to do it yourself, and if you don't want to do it yourself and you're looking for a trusted advisor, then you might go to finra.com and kind of look around there. FINRA. They regulate everything that we do in the financial services industry to help you with that, to make sure that you are dealing with people that's reputable. And, if there's any blemishes or marks against these people, it'll definitely be there so you can investigate. Definitely want to check them out and vet them properly. There's actually a site. I might have to remember the site and maybe comment and do it in the comments. But there's a site that actually you could vet. It'll come to me in a little bit. But basically, you can vet people in the financial services industry if you feel like you want to see if they're legit and these types of things. I will write that down as a to do, because it's not coming to me right this second. So you want to vet them. So for investments, basically, when it comes to investing in anything, you want to talk to, a financial advisor, primarily somebody that knows what they're doing is the best advice I can tell you, because most people don't know what they're doing. Maybe somebody that say you think you're trading, you think trading is investing, and it's not. You are contributing, and from the definition of investing, it is, but not from the financial services industry definition, is not investing. So a long-term investment is more of investing than in anything, right? Instead of these short-term people trying to get rich quick type things like crypto and those types of things, right? So when you're trading, that's not necessarily investing. When you are contributing your money because you have done your due diligence and studied the actual market, thank you for the $10 T-Stamps, then you are doing what you need to do as the fiduciary of your finances, right? But with very limited knowledge. So that's why I always say, get with a financial advisor, get with a financial planner. They can give you all the details about what it is that you can do based on your situation. I don't like to let me be clear that I'm not going to ever have liabilities on here, because I'm not giving any financial advice. Let's be clear. We're just giving information. We're not giving financial advice. Not to be confused with financial advice, because I don't know all of your information. Like, oftentimes clients come, they want to know, how much money should I put away? This and that. Listen, I don't know your total picture to be able to give you comprehensive information. So I would need to know, what are all your liabilities? What are all your assets? To understand what your budget is, to even understand what you should be investing, number one. Okay. And then to tell you where to invest your money and things of that nature, it's about your risk tolerance. How risky are you? Do you have a high or low risk tolerance? These are some questions that you have to find out about the client. What is it that you're trying to do? Is it aggressive growth, or are you fine with conservative growth? Those types of questions. So it's more of a comprehensive deep dive into each individual when it comes to those types of things, like literally a full term consultation. All right. So T-stamps, I answered your question. I'm not even sure what question that was, but yeah, so we want to make sure that we are answering questions. So did I answer that last question? Let us know if we answered it thoroughly enough when we start talking about investments. Sometimes people look at insurance products as investments, but they're not investments, according to the financial services industry. Okay, but it is an asset class. And banks use insurance more than anything. Okay, let's be clear. Something called a BOLI, B-O-L-I. Banks use insurance like no other. Okay, so if people say, I want to do what the bank is doing, I want to be my own bank. Well, you got to do what the bank doing. The bank know that the insurance company is where the money's at. They know that the insurance company is not going to lose their money. They want index products, so they're going to put it in an insurance product because they don't want to lose a dime. All right, so banks have what's called bank-owned life insurance. Corporations like Apple, when that's how corporations are growing their money. They're doing corporate-owned life insurance. COLI, C-O-L-I. Bank-owned life insurance, B-O-L-I. They're putting their money in insurance products so that they can grow. That's how Walt Disney was, of course, everybody knows that story. And JCPenney and, Sam Walton, Walmart, all these different billionaires put their money in insurance because they know their money is not going to, they're not going to lose a penny. And oh, by the way, they're not going to pay taxes. So you want to know how the rich get wealthy and get to a tax bracket of zero? They know that insurance is their hero. Okay. So these are some good questions. If you need a consultation for insurance, I can help you with that as well. But Brian, you cried over there tonight.
I'm not quiet. I'm listening.
I always want to pause and see what's on your mind because I don't want to dominate the conversation.
No, you're not dominating the conversation. I was reading, responding to some of the questions that I see out there. And even right now, somebody was asking me, what do you think and know about Fundrise? You ever heard of Fundrise?
I have heard of Fundrise, and I have not looked at Fundrise much at all. I wasn't really interested in it, but I have heard that Fundrise. I definitely will take a look at it. So Fundrise, I guess I could Google it. Everything's on Google. Okay. I don't know what question they had on it.
No, this is like Mike Harris is like, hello, Miss Husser. What do you think and know about Fundrise? And Louis D'Angelo, is the market a place to get wealth? ? Or long term?
He will know if the market is a place to get wealth.
Yeah, ? And I guess long term. So it's like a 2 question.
Yeah, a lot of people are definitely getting wealthy. I've gotten a lot of money out of the market, but depending on which market you're talking about. What market are we talking about? We talk about the crypto market. We talk about the real estate market. We talk about the, stock market, NFTs. What market are we talking about? But there's money to be made, of course, in every market. It's about, educating yourself and understanding what it is and how to position your money, right? At the right time. It's all about putting your money in the right product at the right time, kind of like logistics. My background is in logistics in the military. So yes, if you're looking to see what's the tax benefits for starting an LLC, it's the same as all benefits. The LLC is just it's a designation for it, right? So it's the LLC is more of a protection mechanism than it is for the taxes. You can consult with a CPA, of course, to make sure that you understand what your situation is based on what you have going on. And if the LLC is appropriate for you, or an S Corp or a C Corp. Those are your different tax designations for your companies. But I wouldn't say that that's necessarily any benefit for an LLC. The benefit for an LLC is just being limited liability. In other words, being able to protect you, but it's only still limited protection that people don't understand. Because if you have an LLC and you doing business shady because you are commingling your funds in your bank account, it's something called piercing of the veil, that you are allowing that when let's say you have a lawsuit and you're not doing your money right in your bank account, now you've made yourself vulnerable even to having a lawsuit, because your limited liability isn't even going to protect you as much, because you've allowed them to be able to pierce the veil. Because why? Because you have not done things properly with your paperwork. So even though you have a limited liability company, you got to make sure you have more than one member in that thing. That's the main thing. If it's a limited liability company and you're the only person, that's not good. So you want to make sure that in the paperwork of it, that is more than you listed as a percent owner, so that when they come for their company, they're not going to be able to get it because you are not the only person. There's somebody else there, right? So, and then people think that all this stuff about credit, and they get these businesses so they can get credit cards and all that business credit, and they're using that money. If you don't pay that money back, it's going on you, because you're the guarantor. So you don't get to use business credit to be able to now try to help your personal credit, and you don't pay the business credit back, because it's going to come on you if you don't pay the money back. There's a lot of those things that people out here are saying, but they don't know all of the details. LLC is not 100% protection. It's the beginning of moving in the right direction towards protection. But you got to have your business together. Your bank account can't be having commingling of funds, your personal and your business. You got to make sure that you have more than one person on that paperwork. The paperwork needs to be there properly, articles and all that. That's another whole thing. So making sure you have a business lawyer, number one. Okay, LLC, business lawyer. So you're talking about taxes. It's not really about the taxes as much as it is the protection. When you start talking about taxes, you want to start looking at stuff like S Corp versus C Corp. That's when you start talking about taxes. Okay, not an LLC. Okay, so that's what's going to benefit you from a tax strategy perspective. But again, I'm not a CPA, but I do know that much. C Corp, S Corp, depending on how much money your business is making, is going to be how you get around with your tax benefits. All right. Support peace and love. And I wish we start putting our money in other people's hands, and we can build generational wealth. Let's start our own. Was that the person that asked the question, Hugh? Who asked the questions about the LLC? Did we answer your question? Let us know if we're answering the questions now, because I'll keep talking about it more if you want more. I'll dig a little deeper. But
that was huge. That was huge.
Okay.
Yeah. And you say thank you.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. My pleasure. Well, what other questions are out there? These are some good questions. I have one, and I'm just looking for an editor so I can not have a bootleg looking one. I do have one. It's just not. Mine isn't like Brian's, so I have, and I'm never on there. I started it, and it wasn't a priority, but I wanted 2022 to be the year that I really start going back strong on it. So I am planning. I'm putting things in place to make sure that I properly have, like, the little front things and stuff like that, and have an editor. So that'll be happening on second quarter. My first quarter, I wanted to start strong in my business and focus on some other things. So every quarter I have a focus on on business and marketing and different things. And so that'll be more of a second quarter focus, my YouTube. So thank you for asking that question. But yes, I do have one. I do have some information on there. My radio show that I did for about 9 months that I did, the Winning in Wealth show. So yeah. Thank you for calling me smart, by the way. I do a lot of studying. IRA is safe until the market crashes. So, because it's not going to keep your money back. The only two, I want you guys, if you don't get anything that I ever tell you, think index. An index universal life policy or an index annuity are the only two ways that you can put your money in something that will grow when the market grows. And when the market tanks, your money there's nothing going to happen to your money. It's called index. You get the best of both worlds. You get to participate in the market when the market goes up. You do not participate in the market when the market goes down. So you want a great portion of your money to be in index funds. And then you want it in the index universal life, because you don't want to have to pay taxes. Everybody, I need y'all to understand this. If you don't get nothing else, if you're taking notes, your biggest expense is not your mortgage. Your biggest expense is not your car. Your biggest expense is your taxes. And you probably overlooking that. And if you're going to these little franchise tax places, you're not getting all your money back. You're leaving money on the table. And that's money that you can be investing in and retiring earlier from, because you put years and years of taxes you've been paying that you didn't have to pay. I tell y'all every time, I went from paying taxes to getting 5 figures back because I went to a CPA. You need a CPA or somebody that knows what they're doing when it comes to taxes. That's your biggest expense every single year. They're going to tell you how to structure things if they know what they're doing. You need a really good one.
You see what Rock Nation Sport Management say? Can you read that?
Yeah, I mean, they do have a lot. There's some African American banks out there. There's plenty of them out there. And especially in the metaverse. I know some of y'all starting to hear about the metaverse. They got a guy, I just spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. They have a 8-story bank in the metaverse. So, but yeah, there's banks out there. There's black banks, there's African American banks out there. I know there's some in Atlanta, because when I lived in Atlanta, there was some there. So it's already around. And then there's a lot of people that's doing mortgages and all that kind of stuff that's African American. So it's already out there. You just got to find them, do your research. Yes, index has been around for a while, and definitely, listen, you got to have an index universal life if you want to have any type of policy. That's going to be the one that's going to get you the most money back. It's going to be the one that's going to work. That's going to allow your money to grow the fastest in the market than any other type of policy out there. An index universal life policy, all day long, hands down. It depends on what you're trying to do. When you say better, what's better for you, right? So if you are looking to not lose a penny, index. If you don't mind losing money, mutual fund.
What?
Okay, so it's about what is it that you want, because better is subjective, right? Like it's about you. It's not an objective question, but so better means I need to know your details of what's good for you when you say better. So basically,
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
As I'm sit back to listen to you or whatever, like even right now, like I'm saying, a wealth of knowledge. Like, how do you get all this knowledge? Besides reading, it's because once again, I'm just listening to you and the way you drop it. Anytime we have a different phone conversation, whether we're online, offline, or whatever, is very informative.
Yeah, I really do hang around a lot of wealthy people. And I really do. I'm like a sponge. I ask a lot of questions.
Rub elbows?
I rub lots of elbows. And I primarily listen to a lot of financial books, a lot of wealth books. I listen to a lot of wealth books because I wasn't born with a silver spoon, right? So I had to learn it. Unfortunately, I wasn't born wealthy. And, I haven't arrived or anything of that nature. I'm not going to act like I've arrived. But at the end of the day, I know a lot of information. And, once you know better, you do better, and you can reposition your money. And the only thing I'm trying to do is for the next generation, Generation Z and Generation Millennials. I want them to do better than I did. Every generation should be reaching back to teach the next generation how to do better with their finances or do better in any area of life, right? So my goal is just to be able to give back, because I wish that I would have learned so much of what I've known now. And I'm a Generation X. People think I'm a millennial or something, but I'm a Generation X. And I wish I would have had some of the information that I'm sharing with them, because somebody would have told me what to do with my, all of these bonuses that I made. I did well. I purchased some properties, like I said, but I could have put some money in some index funds and let that thing just take off for me. Right. And it would have been safe, no money lost, things of that nature. But there's some accounts out here now, guys, and you got to have a 6-figure combined income that you're showing on your tax return, because everybody don't want to show it on your tax return because they don't pay taxes. But at the end of the day, there's some benefits to showing that you made 6 figures for the last 2 years combined income, because the bank will give you $3 for every dollar that you put in. Okay. Automatic as a loan. You don't have, you can have a 300 credit score, but if you made 2 years consecutive 6 figures, the bank is going to give you $3 for every dollar inside of an index universal life policy. And my company that I'm with, they're only one of the few that's going to ever do that. It's called premium bank financing. And you have to do that. So people's like, I can't get a loan, but you can get one in an index universal life policy. You just got to have proper income for it. And it doesn't even matter. Now, listen, let's just say if you did an IUL from your own account, you still don't have to have credit for that. You can build your money up and you can take out your own money out of your own IUL. It doesn't matter what your income is if you got your own IUL, because you were disciplined over amount of time. By the time you're 65, you can take that money out. Now you got money to live off of, do whatever you need, and you don't even have to worry about credit or being approved or anything. That's your money. And oh, by the way, it's still going to compound in your account and still make money for you while it's in a loan status. So again, you like buying gold? Yeah. Some people do like precious metals. I'm just not me personally, I'm not a precious metal person, but I've definitely looked at it. It's just everybody has their own little thing that they like, right? Like I like index funds, some people like crypto. I like crypto too. But I never tell people to go do crypto because not everybody has the same risk tolerance that I have as well. But it's about making sure that your pie is comfortable for you when it comes to your risk. So what you can afford to lose is what you would want to invest. Don't ever invest money that you can't afford to lose. Don't invest your rent money, your car note, and things of that nature. Only invest what you can afford to lose. My biggest advice. And do your research, do your due diligence. Don't get into these Ponzi schemes. Bitcoin has a lot of Ponzi schemes. NFTs has a lot of Ponzi schemes, a lot. And you don't want to get into those types of schemes, right? And so it's super important to understand how, what that looked like. So I actually did a post on my Instagram also about that, about the NFTs, because people were getting scammed out here trying to get into it, but they don't know what's going on with that. But there's actually a site, NFT. Let me go back on here. But yeah, they actually do really well with, I guess, educating people. But you just gotta do your due diligence in anything when it comes to investing. That's the biggest thing. Let's see, do I have it still up here? But what other questions are out there, Brian, or any other comments out there? So I didn't even get to annuities. I wanted to talk a little bit about annuities tonight.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I don't know, my screen is not populating. But annuities is definitely going to be able to give you the opportunity to create your own lifetime income in the future so that you can have financial security. We're talking about passive income. We went all over the place, but we still talk about passive income. How can you make money while you're sleeping? You put your money in an index fund, you let it grow for you. Now that's money that's growing faster than your bank account would ever grow. And oh, by the way, some IULs or index universal life policies or index annuities are actually growing in double digits. We're looking at, Brian, there's people that if they're 50 or greater, they can put their money in an annuity and they can get what's called a 210% participation rate. So that means that the market did 10%, then you get to participate at 210% times that 10% interest that it made. I know that might have confused somebody, but that's numbers. So let's just say the market made $10 on your $100. Okay. What's 210% of $10? Anybody know? 210% of $10. What is that? I'm not asking you, Brian. I'm asking somebody out here in the audience. Just looking for audience participation here. Where my math geniuses at? Or let's just say it's $10 times 210%. What is that? Anybody know? So so when it comes to money and finances, that's going to be an area that you're going to have to understand. How do I do the math? And I know if you're not strong in math, then that's definitely something that you're going to have to take a look at, right? So what's 100% of $10? Anybody? Thank you, Kenneth. 210%. All right. Thank you very much. Kenneth says $21. Anybody else agree with Kenneth? So at the end of the day, there's 210% and 200% participation rates on products. Okay, that for people, whatever money they put in, that they can make that money every 2 years. Okay, it's called point to point, 2-year point to point. So I'm just doing, say, $5,000 times 210%, 10,500 every 2 years. If they had, if they, you know what I'm saying? So if they made 10%, right? If the market made 10%, so $5,000 times 210% is $10,500. As every 2 years, that $5,000 made them $10,500. Just the $5,000, having it sit there. Okay, so in 2 years, $5,000 added $10,500 to it. That means that $5,000 grew to $15,500 in 2 years at a 210% participation rate. Okay, so people that are 50 years old and older can put their money in an annuity that has that type of participation rate. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if you want your money to grow aggressively, those types of products are out there in an annuity product. Okay, past results don't equal future results. We always say that. I'm gonna say that 3 times. Past results don't equal future results. Past results don't equal future results, because an IUL in the past has made double digits. It's been out for over 20-something years, even though people just starting to talk about it. But it's been making double digits for years. But past results don't equal future results. So we can't guarantee that it's going to do what it's done in the past, but it models and parallels after what the S&P 500 does. So if you look at the history of the S&P 500, that's what an index universal life policy is going to look like, because it's an index fund. All right, so it's going to follow after the S&P 500 index. Okay. It is a great return, and people are excited. Okay, clients are happy. Okay, they're like kissing us. Yeah, so they're definitely liking those. So passive income, you don't have to work hard for your money. Employ your money. CEO stands for creating employment opportunities for your money. If you could put your money to work for you, you don't have to work so hard. Now you are an investor because your money's working for you. You don't have to work. You don't have to put your money in something risky to be an investor. You could be a smart investor, like the wealthy. That's how the wealthy get wealthy, and that's how the wealth gap keeps getting bigger and bigger, because they know where to put their money at, right? They understand where to put their money at. When the people that don't understand where to put their money, they try to put their money on everything else for a quick dollar and losing. They're losing their money. They're losing their shirt, Brian, because they want to get rich quick, and these like real high risk thing, and they don't have the money for it. You see what I'm saying?
Get rich quick.
Why is property so high now? Because, hey, the economy, everything is going on right now. So bottom line is, people are actually, there's a bubble. Let me just say that. It's a bubble. We're in a bubble. Okay. So if you got anything property wise, listen, it's up to you, but we know when I say we're in a bubble, it's high for us. It's not gonna be high forever. It's gonna come back down really, really quick. It's called a market correction. The market corrects itself. Like with Bitcoin, what just happened to Bitcoin was a market correction. When there's a market correction, it's gonna plummet. Okay. So we're in a bubble, a housing bubble right now, and it is going to correct itself. And when it does, because a lot of people are going to be in foreclosure because of what's going on. People don't have jobs. Some people are, right? They're going to lose their job. They're going to lose they lost their jobs. They're no longer going to be able to pay their mortgage. Everything lifted with the whole government, and you're okay about, you don't have to pay your mortgage and all this kind of stuff. That stuff is lifted, right? So now people are going to start losing their properties, unfortunately. And when that happens, the home values are going to come down. And these investors, real estate investors, and I am one. I listen, I'm a retired real estate investor. They are waiting. They cannot wait to start getting people's home. I know it's unfortunate, but it is reality. It's happening. And so what's happening is that people are stacking money. They're waiting for this bubble to burst, and they're going to go in and take these people homes, purchase them, for foreclosed homes. So a lot of people going to tax sales. They're getting tax liens and stuff like that too. But the homes are high because of the scarcity of properties. Because listen, a lot of people, they're not working. People aren't working to build the homes too, because a lot of people aren't working, right? So people aren't even working to build the homes also. So there's less homes being built, right? So that means that each home is valuable because there's less properties available. Okay, so a lot of homes, people in their homes that they probably would have been available had we been under had they had to pay for their properties like they should have, and the foreclosure process started more quickly. But because the foreclosure process was frozen for so long, for about, for about 2 years, you couldn't put nobody out their property. There was no properties available because people wasn't being put out their house. There was no foreclosure. So that means that they get to stay in their house longer, meaning there's less inventory of houses. So now, you see what I'm saying? And then some people that are smarter, they know they can't, they're not going to be able to keep their home. They just went on and started renting. So their rent went way up. And you got more renters too. But people that are in their properties, it's going to be harder for them to have to get put out. It was harder. Now it's not going to be hard now. Everything's back to normal now. People are they're going to start seeing that the foreclosures are going to be coming back, and the bubble is going to burst, and all that stuff is happening. So these are some good questions. But what other questions are out there? Yeah, they are through the roof. Yeah, and the metaverse is a new hustle. My Cash App is Shateka Husser.
I got it.
Full name. Brian, what's your Cash App?
I just I'm about to do it right now. I just did it.
Okay. All right. So what else? What other questions are out there?
Somebody asked, are you a fan of whole life insurance, or would you suggest to prepay for your own funeral?
I am a fan of IULs. And I suggest that, yes, you still do your funeral expenses because it's 50% cheaper when you do it before you pass. You can negotiate and do everything before, while you're living, you go ahead and buy everything. It's 50% less. Isn't that something? So the margin is 50% higher if the person is already expired. So yes, you can buy it in advance. They're way cheaper. But I like IULs for these reasons. And I'm explaining it. And I thank you for that question, T-Stamps. The whole life policy is more expensive, okay, for the death benefit. So your IUL going to give you a lot more death benefit than a whole life policy. An IUL is going to work harder for you for your money to grow, okay? That's why the cost of it is even more expensive as you get older and older. But either way, the IUL is, if you want your money to grow the fastest with any insurance product, you want it in an index universal life. You don't want it in a whole life. Whole life only going to grow like 4%. 3 to 5%. Are you kidding me? That's not even inflation. So no, I'm not a fan of whole life by no means. All right. Now an IUL, again, you can't lose any money in it. Okay. You don't lose money in a whole life either, but you're not really making a whole lot. It's fixed and it's really low, right? So slow money, really, really slow. An IUL is going to perform really well for you financially. That's why people stuff a whole lot of money into it to such an extent that money laundering was through policies, if y'all didn't know that. So we had to do like anti-money laundering courses to make sure that we understand what that looks like. People are stuffing a lot of money in their policies because they don't want to pay no taxes on the money, and they can put a whole lot more in an IUL than they could in the whole life because the MEC is higher. You get more death benefit. You get all this death benefit. And the higher the death benefit, the more money you can put in them, because the higher the death benefit, the higher the MEC limit. So it's proportionate to the policy. So you are limited with your death benefit with a whole life. That means you're going to be limited with how much money you can put in a whole life. And an IUL is more flexible. If you can't pay your premiums, then your cash value will just pay your premiums. No big deal. You know what I mean? I don't do metaverse at all. I'm not going to speak on it. I'm not going to speak on metaverse. No, sir. Sorry, I can't help you with that one tonight. Yeah, so I am when it comes to retirement, I will tell you, do not put your money in something that's going to be super risky, because you won't have the time for your money to rebound before you retire. And now you're struggling because you put your money inside some of these weird stuff out here, right? It's not weird, but they're good, but they're kind of weird because you don't really understand it yet. Okay. They haven't been around long enough, like metaverse and NFT and all that. Those are nice things to have for people they got play money. Do it all day long. I'll do it all day long if you got some play money. But if you don't have no play money, do not put money in it that you cannot afford to lose. You can say, I'm just going to play the risk because you're a gambler type person. I get it. That's fine. But But I know too many people that say, man, I wish. You know what I mean? So only put the money in that you can afford to lose. You're going to expect the best, but prepare for the worst when you put your money in there. Okay. NFTs, nobody really knows. They hoping, we hoping. You basically put your money into some of these artists that's got artwork out there. They actually have real estate NFTs out there too. So people are doing these real estate NFTs also. There's a lot of different ones that are out there, but it hasn't been around long enough to have any kind of like concrete information to be able to speak on, right? So definitely dabble in it if you want to diversify your portfolio and you can afford to put a certain amount of money in there. Nothing beats diversification of your portfolio. I believe in diversifying your portfolio, but when it comes to no risk and only growth, index products is the way to go. High network crypto, Polkadot, Bitcoin, Ethereum. There's a few other good ones out there, but those are the ones that people that I know that are heavy in the space are recommending. Right, I'm in it, but I'm not as heavy as some people are. Like I'm not sitting around watching crypto all day and into it like I used to. I used to do that, but not anymore. Because I started, I'm helping more people, so I'm not as close to the crypto market as I used to be. But I do know that I do know that Bitcoin is going to be. I know Bitcoin is going to blow up. It's doing it right here. It's doing a little, what do they call it, roller coaster ride, but it's going to go up because too many banks are into Bitcoin. Too many banks, and it's on sale right now. It's like 60% off if you want to buy some Bitcoin. Okay, it's 60% off right now, so it's a pretty good time to get in. But it's wealth on sale right now, just like life insurance. Like I told y'all at the beginning of this, I told you the man he's putting $250 in for his daughter. She's his granddaughter because she was born last September. And if they just keep that policy till she's 58, she's gonna be a millionaire. And they will only have put in $174,000 over the life of that policy. And she's gonna be a millionaire at 58. Wealth on sale. Where else can you buy wealth on sale at? And she's gonna have access to cash all her life. If she ever need money, she can go on her policy, take that money out. She want to get married, get her dress, whatever, her college, her car, her business, her whatever. She'll be able to take that money out. And oh, by the way, the money is still going to compound while it's in loan status in her wallet. It's still going to compound in her account, in her policy. Wealth on sale, everybody. So wealth is on sale in the policies. Wealth is on sale in Bitcoin right now. Wealth is on sale in annuities too. Okay. So brokerage where you invest in artwork and get a return once they sell the artwork. That's pretty much NFTs, but no, I don't do brokerage at all. My specialty, everybody, is going to be life insurance and annuities. I am a life insurance broker, full disclosure, I'm a life insurance broker. All right. That means I don't work for State Farm or New York Life. I can't just sell you their product. I don't work for no Prime America. No, nothing. None of those things, because I can go to 80 different companies, 100 companies, and help make sure that you get the right product. So I am a life insurance broker as well as a financial planner and retirement consultant. That's primarily what I do. Okay. But yes. And so annuities is what I can do for you. And I've done annuities and life insurance products. I like index products because I like what they can do. I've seen the performance over the time. Listen, it's incredible, the performance of an index product, because you can't lose any money in it. And it'll show you how it's going to perform. Past results don't equal future results, but it looks really, really attractive. And for somebody that's a multi-dimensional investor that started with real estate and went into stocks, okay, because this is, you understand my background. I work for the #1 online retailer in the world, the #1 big box retailer in the world. You guys know who they are. You know what both of them are.
Walmart, Amazon.
One second. Take me off.
Wait. She worked for Walmart. She left Walmart and then she went to Amazon. So when you sit back and you think about it, like she worked for Walmart, then Amazon, because she was in high demand. And those are things that you sit back and you look at, because when you have an individual that come along, went from the army, right? And you know what? When you graduate at the top of your class, people want you on their team. And this so happened, they want her on her team. So that's why she went to Walmart and she did a great job there. And Amazon, basically recruited her from there. And she went there. Then she decided that she wanted to be like LeBron James and take her talent elsewhere. She wanted to be on her own. She wanted to be her own team.
So I'm back at it. So I just want to say that as someone that has, definitely dibbled and dabbled in real estate, stocks, cryptocurrencies, I've traded Forex, I've done all those things. The most attractive thing that I'm seeing right now is going to be index funds. So rather you, consult with me or someone else, you will thank me later. I promise you. Brian, I have to go. I'm being rude right now. So yes, I'm with some wealthy people today and we were just about to do some stuff and I got to go.
So rub some elbow with me for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for joining us. Catch you next week.
I didn't want to be rude, but they're starting to yell at me because
go ahead.
We wanted to make sure that we got on here and we were consistent every week. And so, yes, if you are interested in a masterclass, just text masterclass to that number that's scrolling below. And I will see you guys on next Wednesday. No, I have a procedure going on Wednesday. So I will see you all, Brian, probably next Friday.
Okay, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Period. I'll probably be down there next week anyway, so we can do it.
Okay. All right.
Then.
Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good weekend, everybody.
I'm gonna take you up and put the master class in that number.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Bye. Yeah, Dogecoin is good. Yes.
Right.
Yes, they're good. Yes, they are. So,
there you go. Okay, let me put it on. Cigar chat gonna be Sunday. Cigar chat gonna be Sunday at 6. Sunday at 6. The cigar chat. That's a class. Okay. 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 7, 3, 6. 7, 3, 6. That's 9, 6. That's 6, 4, 9, 6. Yeah, she definitely know her thing. She definitely do. Yeah, but anyway, like I said, right now I'm about to call it the day. Thank y'all. Catch y'all next time. Peace, love, and prosperity. Have a great weekend. One love.